Remember when Republicans said they would haul Hunter Biden into Congress and force him to testify under oath or face new crimes outside of his pardon? Well, according to Congressman James Comer, that is happening soon. The House passes Trump's big, beautiful bill earlier today. A new Senate report shares damning information from the Biden White House, and I cover Trump's gangster Oval Office move against the South African president to shine light on the fact that white farmers are being killed. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It helps me more than you know. So let's jump into the news. Earlier today, House Republicans narrowly passed President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act with 215 yeses to 214 noes. This is a major win for President Trump and the MAGA agenda. Not a single Democrat supported the bill, which would extend all of the Trump tax cuts, which saves the average family between $5,000 to $7,000 a year. It will boost additional U.S. defense spending as well as border security spending, but it does impose some limitations on Medicaid and SNAP programs. The bill also eliminates taxes on tips and overtime until 2028. Democrats argue that it effectively raises taxes on working families and prioritizes tax breaks for Trump's billionaire buddies. The legislation adds about $3.8 trillion to the national debt, and it will now head to the Senate, where it will face additional hurdles. Now, in the House, it only passed by one vote, and we only have 53 Republicans over in the Senate. We need to get to 60 votes in order for this to pass. So it's going to be an uphill battle that likely will take until July 4th of this year. But let me show you what Congresswoman Tenney of New York had to say about the big, beautiful bill being passed.
We're very pleased that this one big, beautiful bill was finally passed. Really the speaker shows how heroic and incredible he is to keep continuing to pull rabbits out of a hat. He worked hand in glove with President Trump and our leadership team and so many from the White House to get everyone to yes, just about. I mean, it was a very close vote, but obviously we have a very narrow majority. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I think that was the pitch of the speaker. We have to do what the American people asked us to do in electing President Trump and keeping our majority and creating a majority in the Senate. It goes to the Senate now, as you know, Jackie, and we'll see what happens up there. You know, there's a lot in this bill. I mean, we are going to have the biggest tax cuts. That's the renewal of the Trump tax cuts plus more, border security, common sense, unleashing American energy. We're going to have so many things in this bill that are going to be really important. It's just one step. We have another shot at reconciliation to do even more. So I caution members when they think we're going to get everything in the bill, and we have another chance, and we can fill in some of the blanks. But it has been an arduous task, a lot of late nights, a lot of days within Ways and Means Committee, particularly the Energy and Commerce Committee. All our chairs worked so hard and stayed up really late, night after night, to make sure that we met to the best we could the demands of each of the members that we got to yes on.
All right, so this bill does a lot. They're saying that this is the single greatest bill for the middle class as well as small business owners here in the United States. Now, Congress foolishly decided to remove eliminating tax on Social Security in this bill. However, Congressman Thomas Massie announced that he is introducing a standalone bill called H.R. 1040 that would assist middle-class seniors by eliminating the unjust double tax of Social Security. So he's basically saying, listen, Social Security is in itself a tax that is forced on the American worker. We should not tax a tax, but instead give people all of the money so that they can use it when it matters the most, which is in their older years. Now, I'm hoping that that bill will reach the floor and it can pass because it would do a lot for American seniors. President Donald Trump has accused ex-Biden officials of committing treason at the highest level. They knew that Joe Biden was cognitively impaired, and when he was out of town or out of office, they used the autopen to hijack the border, pass bills, and give pardons to family members and friends and those that called in favors. President Trump said Joe Biden was not for open borders. He never talked about open borders where criminals of all kinds, shapes, and sizes can flow into our country at will. It wasn't his idea to open the border and almost destroy our country, costing hundreds of billions of dollars to get criminals out of the country and go through the process we are going through now. It was the people that knew he was cognitively impaired and took over the autopen. They stole the presidency of the United States and put us in great danger. This is treason at the highest level. He's now calling for investigations. And honestly, Vice President J.D. Vance had similar remarks. He said this, "Far be it from me to defend Joe Biden, but I really think the more that we learn, the more that we see the policy of the Biden administration was driven much more by staff than it was an elected president." Wow. All right. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? Now, President Trump isn't the only one sounding the alarm about the Biden administration and the abuse of Joe Biden, as well as the signatory authority of the sitting president. Representative James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, announced a wide-ranging investigation into the Biden family, as well as top administration officials over these alleged crimes. Here's what he had to say on my friend Alex Marlow's podcast. Comer said, "We're bringing everyone in, either on a transcribed interview or a deposition. The investigation will target high-profile figures like Hunter Biden, as well as lesser-known associates, including those operating the autopen." Referring to the physician who gave President Biden a clean bill of health, James Comer questioned the doctor's credibility, asking, "Are you that incompetent as a doctor, or were you pressured into saying that?" Now, while Trump's back in office and a major budget bill just moved forward, James Comer, Congressman Comer, said he plans to use the subpoena power and the Department of Justice, as well as AG Pam Bondi, to bring these people in. He said that this is a crime that must be investigated. So some of the big names that we want to see justice around, it looks like they're going to be forced into the light to give testimony. All right, now some bad news. It's been a lot of good news. Earlier today, U.S. District Judge Myung Jae Jeon, a Biden-appointed judge, issued an injunction against President Trump's executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. He's ordering that Trump reinstate the 1,300 people he fired in order to clean up the Department of Education. Judge Jeon ruled that Trump's mass layoff were an unlawful attempt to shutter the agency without congressional approval, undermining the sitting president's authority to reorganize federal agencies as he sees fit. The decision, prompted by a lawsuit from school districts and the American Federation of Teachers, halts Trump's campaign promise, which with critics now labeling Judge Jeon as an activist judge doing what the Democrat Party wants versus following the law. So this will probably have to go to the Supreme Court. I'll keep you in the loop on that. Yesterday, a new Senate report released alleges that the Biden officials knew for a fact that myocarditis was linked to the mRNA COVID vaccine as early as February of 2021, but delayed warning the public. This committee, led by Senator Ron Johnson, the report claims that they officially downplayed heart-related risk, got it backed by the CDC, and then pushed it out to the public so that they could do the mandates to try to force you to get this experimental shot. Now, the report is a 2,473-page report on many of the ways that the Biden administration, the CDC, and the FDA manipulated the American public, lied to the American public. It's terrible. In fact, listen to what the most published doctor in America said about this to Congress.
Now, the topic today is myocarditis or heart damage from the COVID-19 vaccines. I'm a cardiologist. I know the topic well. I've examined thousands of patients with this problem. Thousands. Before the pandemic, I had 2 patients ever with this problem. There's 1,065 papers in the peer-reviewed literature on COVID vaccine myocarditis. So let me summarize them for you. The first one that came on my radar screen that was alarming came from Washington University in St. Louis, August 18th of 2021. The first author is Verma and colleagues, New England Journal of Medicine. 42-year-old man comes into Washington University Hospital with vaccine myocarditis. The infection is ruled out. It's the vaccine. He's in the hospital. This is one of our best hospitals in the United States. He dies 3 days after taking Moderna. They can't save him in the hospital.
Say, Dr. McCullough, move the microphone just a little bit away from you.
Then one was reported from Korea by Choi and colleagues. This is now a younger man. Just a few days after Pfizer, he comes in the hospital. He dies within 8 hours of being in the hospital. I can tell you, I'm a cardiologist. That doesn't even happen with heart attacks. He dies within 8 hours. I examined all of the slides and the images that the Koreans had showed us. It looked like somebody took a blowtorch to that heart. It was so completely fried with inflammation. His heart was destroyed. These cases, which were widely known at the time, should have gotten everyone's attention. Everyone should have been laser focused on this. We should never have someone die after taking a vaccine that's directly caused to the vaccine. Then Gill and colleagues, Connecticut, published in Archives of Pathology, 2 boys, aged 16 and 17, who die a few days after taking Pfizer. These are teenagers. They're found dead at home by their parents. They're absolutely horrified.
Oh, I'm absolutely horrified. They knew that this was happening. They knew it was killing people, and yet they tried to force it on people. They tried to mandate it on people. The FDA, the CDC, Dr. Fauci, Pfizer, Moderna, all of these evil actors that are walking free today knew with certainty they were killing people. This is a crime against humanity. This is the most sought after cardiologist in America, the most published doctor in America, telling you before COVID, 2 people had myocarditis. Now he's personally treated thousands. It was absolutely destroying people. Unbelievable. I didn't even get the vaccine and it hurt me. I can't imagine. I would be dead. Can you imagine? The Stephen Gardner Show would not exist. My 3 children, my wife would have been widowed if I had taken that piece of crap thing that everybody tried to pressure me into taking. So sad. All right, now I want to tell you some good news from our sponsor today that could help many of you. Let's talk about something serious for a second, your heart health. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the world, but the truth is many of the symptoms, high cholesterol, blood sugar spikes, poor circulation, can actually be managed and in some cases prevented. That's why I want to tell you about Vitality, a powerful heart health supplement packed with 7 clinically proven ingredients. Vitality includes microactive CoQ10 for energy, heart function, mega natural BP grape seed extract to support healthy blood pressure, vitamin K2 to help keep your arteries flexible and clear. But it doesn't stop there. Vitality also contains hawthornberry, bilberry extract to boost circulation, resveratrol for cellular protection, and olive leaf extract to reduce inflammation. Whether you're already dealing with heart-related symptoms or you just want to stay ahead of the curve, Vitality is for you. Support your heart today and give your future self the lasting gift of health. Now, if you guys go to mybrightcore.com/vitality and use code Gardner, you're going to get 25% off. You can also just click take a photo of the QR code in the upper right-hand corner. but I want to save you guys even more money. Call them at 888-908-4425. Get up to 50% off plus free shipping. Take care of yourself. Take care of your heart. Save even more money. Get free shipping. Go and do that today. Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. All right. During an Oval Office meeting, President Donald Trump confronted the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, with a video showing threats against white farmers. The footage featured radical leader Julius Malema and others chanting, "Kill the farmers, shoot to kill," along with calls to seize white-owned land and images of memorials where there are thousands of crosses representing each white farmer who was killed. The meeting started off friendly but turned tense when Ramaphosa denied this claim of genocide. President Trump then dimmed the lights and showed the video. Ramaphosa tried to steer the conversation back to trade and peace. South Africa then did hit piece after hit piece on President Trump. President Trump said he's not sure whether he will go to South Africa for the G20 summit because he doesn't like the fact that they are not handling this issue. Now, listen to what Scott Jennings of CNN had to say about this last night.
Whether you call it a genocide or not, the facts are white farmers in South Africa have been murdered. A lot of people have tried to cover this up. A lot of people in, I think, media in the United States have tried to cover it up. Obviously, the South African government doesn't want to talk about it, so it was kind of a boss move for Donald Trump to roll that television in there today. And I think even the agriculture minister in the Oval Office confirmed that these people are, in fact, being murdered. So my question is, if it's not a genocide today, how many do we want to let get murdered so that people around here can be satisfied? Okay, now it's a genocide. Let's let a few more. I don't understand. We're talking about 50-something people they were trying to let in, and everybody's losing their mind after we let in 20 million illegal immigrants over the last several years. The president is trying to prevent genocide from happening any further to these people. They are clearly being discriminated against. Some have been murdered. This was an interesting spectacle in the Oval Office today, but it had to happen because I don't think anybody was telling the truth about it.
Okay, now, according to Grok, farm attacks continue to be a serious concern. 50 to 63 farmers, all white, are killed every single year. Whether it's genocide or just a widespread targeted killing, it's white farmers that are on the end of this killing spree. Most attacks seem to be driven by robbery, but with low conviction rates and gaps in reporting, it has led to public mistrust. So maybe it's not genocide, but it is a major copycat crime that nobody seems to care about or want to crack down on. But look at how the left-leaning media spread lies in order to poison the minds of their viewers against President Trump.
To the dramatic scene in the Oval Office today, the tense confrontation, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
Up next, another Oval Office meltdown, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
President Trump is being accused of conducting something of a diplomatic ambush of South Africa's president in the Oval Office.
To be with you, I'm Katie Tur. President Trump orchestrated another Oval Office ambush today.
Today, Donald Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate that leader.
Zelensky territory, where essentially he was a bit ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Felt like an ambush in there, kind of like the President Zelensky meeting in the Oval Office.
This was an ambush. It was orchestrated.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush.
What started as, to some degree, an ambush.
Well, Katie, I mean, it was an ambush.
Ambush.
Ambushed.
Ambush.
An ambush.
Ambushing.
Ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Don't you kind of get the feeling that maybe it was a orchestrated ambush? I don't know. You tell a lie enough times and people start believing it's the truth. That's what the Nazis did. Mark Twain said that a lie can get halfway around the world before the truth can put its boots on. So you let me know in the comments, is this an ambush? Is this orchestrated? Or is this orchestrated poisoning of American minds against President Trump, who is trying to stop the slaughter of one group of people that happen to be white in South Africa? Let me know your thoughts. All right, now that was pretty heavy. Let me share some good news, and then I've got another heavy story. John Deere announced today that they will be investing $20 billion in the United States. They're bringing plants and manufacturing back to America because of President Trump. So $20 billion from the largest farm equipment maker. They were moving down to Mexico. They did a U-turn and said, actually, we're going to build stuff in Trump's America. Another major win for President Trump and MAGA voters. All right, now a tragic act of violence shook Washington, D.C. as an apparent hate-driven attack claimed the lives of two young Israeli diplomats just steps from a Jewish cultural event. Two Israeli embassy staffers, a young couple soon to be engaged, were shot and killed outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. during an event hosted by the American Jewish Committee. The suspect, 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez from Chicago, was arrested at the scene. According to D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith, he shouted, "Free Palestine," as he was being arrested. I looked him up on social media. It looks like he is a devout socialist and anti-Israel, pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine. Rodriguez was seen pacing outside the museum before approaching a group of four and then pulling out a firearm and opening fire. He then entered the museum where security was able to stop him and detain him. Police say he confessed to the shooting and told them where he had thrown the gun. Israeli officials, including Ambassador Yechiel Leiter, condemned the attack as an anti-Semitic terrorist act. President Trump has responded, calling for an end to violence, stating these horrible DC killings based obviously on anti-Semitism must end. Now the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force must lead this investigation and get answers to us. Pretty sad. All right, some good news today, some bad news, some really sad news. Welcome to the news. I just want to say thank you guys so much for allowing me to be your source of truth. If you could, give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 2 million amazing truth seekers. I love you guys. Stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.